CEB, an affiliate of UCSU, is proud to present Dr. Hunter Thompson.
That's not enough. Yeah, I apologize for being late. Any question going? Those are bad.
We're very sorry for being late tonight. Plane was a little bit late.
Yeah. Yep. We're not in jail. Really? What the hell are they for? Who controls those things? Turn those off. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, they're no good. All right. That's it. Well, you were apologizing for being late?
Yeah, we were apologizing for being late tonight.
Some Nazi held us up at the gate down there. We had no permit to park, and we're on the list?
Oh, yeah, we're on the list.
No, we weren't there, though.
No.
We've been out there for 45 minutes, I'm sorry. Held up by some local Nazi. You're supposed to get this thing going.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I'm going to get an answer. Well, let's find out what kind of question we should deal with. Yeah, I'll get an answer.
We have some mics back there, and does anybody, we want some suggestions. Does anybody have a suggestion for a question? No. Yeah. If you want to ask a question, approach the mic, and there must be someone out there that has a question.
No, we're going to try to determine the nature and the meaning of the crowd, as it were. And,
hello, is this on?
We'll get off on the wrong subject. It would take us a long time to get back to the right subject. Is there any dominant curiosity here that we can deal with? You, yes.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you what is reality, man. Okay. What I want to know is, do you think
my favorite question.
Do you think that the authorities on Earth, be they what they are, have been contacted by extraterrestrials, intelligent creatures from another planet? I really want to ask you this, man.
Which authorities? Who?
Whichever ones are in charge. It depends on where you're at.
Yeah, probably so.
Thank you.
Why not? Okay, is that the subject we have to deal with tonight?
Yes, the young lady in the coat. No, she's just saying.
Is there anyone here who can, yes,
You.
speak for the crowd, as it were? Yeah.
Is this one on too? Have you ever, since Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, do you think you've ever found the American Dream, that discotheque you were looking for?
I found it right there. That's what I was. That's the great American novel.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Hunter, one of the questions that we came up with is like when you were writing about American Dream and Fear and Loathing, and we weren't really quite sure what you were talking about, really.
Well, what puzzled you? What bothered you about it?
Well, the whole idea of American Dream is there really something out there to be looking for? Is there, as college students here, that's what kind of things, we're all looking for, to find out. That's, why we're all here, right, guys? All right. Pretty much.
It's like the golden streets of heaven, or the U.S. Marines who patrol them, or guard them. I've always wanted to ask a Jesuit why, if heaven was as fine and organized a place as it's supposed to be, they would need a bunch of goddamn Marines to guard the streets. You don't even need that in the South Bronx. Excuse me, that's a digression. We've been taught, whole generations of people in this country have been taught that the American dream is the sort of guiding ethic, free enterprise, democracy, honesty, truth, beauty, things like that. And if the myth exists, then it's like rainbows. It's a worthwhile thing to chase. There are worse ways to spend your life than chasing the American dream. But once you've found it, like I did in Vegas at what was called the Old Psychiatrist Club, then it is kind of puzzling, you know. You feel kind of naked and alone out there, because once you found the dream and found that it's just a slab of burned out concrete in Las Vegas, called the Old Psychiatrist Club, then, you know, it's kind of hard to go on from there in the same, you don't have the same dedication to journalism. I flew out here from Chicago, actually I came from New York, but on the Chicago leg. Tex Colson, I'm sure he's probably here tonight. It didn't occur to me to ask him if he was coming out here for my speech.
It's probably here.
But Tex Colson, my old friend from the White House, who is now, apparently for the first time I listened to him for 2 hours, and I think he probably is serious about Jesus. But it was strange sitting next to a guy. I noticed he was wearing a sort of a yellow French cuff shirt, and he had his presidential cufflinks on. And I was going to ask him, right at the end, as I got off the plane, I was going to tap him on the shoulder and say, those are nice cufflinks. I don't have any myself. But the last time I saw the ones you're wearing, you bastard, you were pointing at me and saying they're going to put me in jail for the duration, which is true. The last time Colson spoke to me was to threaten to put me in jail for just being a degenerate, you know, it's a bad person. The record should show that since then Colson's been in jail and I haven't. And I don't need Jesus yet. I might. We can keep Jesus in reserve. Did we answer that question? No, we didn't. Yeah, we did, yeah. Or did we?
Dr. Thompson, are you still a bigger football fan than President Nixon?
You know, I used to think that was the only time Nixon spoke the truth to me. And from what I've learned since then, I suspect he even lied about that. No, actually, he knew he gave me a serious crackback the first time I talked to him about football, when he knew the name of a second-string Oakland flanker who maybe played 7 plays and won Super Bowl, never showed up again. Nixon not only knew who he was and what he had done, but he knew where he'd gone to college, which I'm not sure what it tells us, except that at least he can tell the truth about one thing. But yeah, I'm a football fan in the sense that, I guess Nixon and I we must share one thing, and we have one thing in common: that we're serious football fans. It's not. There's no shame in that, to admit you have one thing in common with Richard Nixon. We both wear belts. You know, we spend American money, so yeah, it was eerie to find out that I could get along with Nixon and actually have a ho-ho conversation with him about football, because I always felt he lied about everything, and that was the one thing he caught me on, but we caught him in the end on a much bigger thing.
You know, earlier tonight you talked about Vietnam and how you felt that more things should be said about Vietnam than have been said. You care to talk about this at all?
We were talking about the books.
Yeah.
The best books that I've read recently have been books on Vietnam, and they're not just good books about Vietnam, they're good books, period. It's Dog Soldiers has been out now for about 2 years. It's the best novel by an American writer I've read in 10 years. And Michael Herr, who was a freelance journalist, he would write long things, say for Esquire, on the siege of Khe Sanh and stuff like that, has a book out just about now called Dispatches, which probably is the best book, not only about Vietnam, but about a whole generation and the fixation that we all, in the end, had to have about the damn place. That's why I went over there the last 2 weeks of the war. The place had caused me so much trouble for 10 years, I thought I should see it, but, well, I still had a chance.
You know, in the end of one of your books, I think it was 72, when you went over to Vietnam for the final days there, you went to Cambodia, and you said you experienced the fear and the loathing.
Not Cambodia, no. That went down about the time I got to Saigon. Laos.
The what?
If I said I went to Cambodia, I lied. No, Laos. I'm getting you off the hook.
Okay. Thanks.
Laos.
I have a question up here. Hello? A question?
I can't answer any questions about Cambodia. I was not allowd to go there. The
Well, you talked about it.
Khmer Rouge had taken over, and they were vicious little bastards. Yeah, I remember in Laos, an LA Times girl, Jacques Leslie, works at the LA Times, is one of these confirmed Asia freaks who cannot come back to this country. The culture shock has been too heavy. And, you know, to him, New Delhi is home, and Hong Kong is sort of like what we think of here is, it's his version of New York. If you go from New Delhi to Hong Kong, you're going to the big city. And there are a lot of people like that, correspondents, who get so locked into Asia or other places they can't come back to this country. And usually the best ones are that way. But I remember Leslie with and they carry magnetic chessboards so that the men will stick on the chessboards for, you know, maybe until the next war. You can keep a game going because if you're always in jeeps and on planes, and you know the chessmen they don't fall off. There's no way to knock them off. And what was I saying? Oh, Jacques Leslie? I don't recall it now. We were in Laos.
Are there any questions out there?
There's a question up in the balcony.
Questions?
Yeah, in the balcony.
Where?
Up here.
Right there.
Yeah. Literary question. In your book, The Hell's
On
Angels.
top there?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
In your book, The Hell's Angels, you described a Hell's Angels gangbang at a Merry Pranksters party.
Oh, and, excuse me?
You,
I heard the first sentence. I didn't hear the second one.
you described a Hell's Angels gangbang
Yeah.
at a Merry Pranksters party up in San Francisco, I think it was.
La Honda.
La Hama, yeah.
Yeah.
And in Tom Wolfe's book, Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, he described a scene that was very similar.
Well, it wasn't just similar. I sent Tom my tapes, and I think the exact. Anyway. He asked if I'd send him, you know, the kind of raw data as a horrible kind of phrase. It was an ugly, vicious scene, and that's any similarity is explained by the fact that we both described it from my tapes.
Oh. Whatever happened to Tom Wolfe?
Hmm?
Whatever happened to Tom Wolfe? Where is he now?
Oh, he's you know, alive and well in New York. I think he's turning into a royalist of sorts, but then he thinks I'm turning into a brain damaged geek. So Tom's idea of you know of a progressive decade is, you know, a camel's hair coat in every closet and Gucci's on every other foot. But he doesn't agree with me that the country is into what I call the grim slide. I think it is. But yeah, he's a good person. He's a good writer and a good human being. And he doesn't hurt anybody. You know, he gets by without causing the kind of damage that Colson caused, or Nixon. Only when I have to. And yeah, I don't think people understand just how rotten and wretched and sick the you know, the trade of being a writer. You understand? Who said that? Oh, God's mercy on you. I would prefer never to write anything again, but since I'm not into crime deeply enough, and and there's nothing else it seems really worthwhile doing except maybe hunting sea snakes in the Great Barrier Reef, I'd prefer to do that. Yeah, I'll write when I must write. Either that or I have to go to work. And I haven't had a job in about 21 years. But you pay dues in some odd way when you have to finally make up for not working for 3 or 4 years. It catches up. It hurts. It's hard. That's what I'm doing now. Pardon me? I could. Yeah, I could make $10,000 a month doing this. But you have to take that this kind of thing very seriously and work at it. And well, like Julian Bond, I saw him on Tom Snyder the other night saying that 3 months out of the year he goes out for 90 straight days, and he probably makes about $5,000 a day at that. Now, I figure if I can make $2,000 a month at it, that pays for my cocaine. It, you know, yeah, we keep a separate account for this. It's a very frivolous account. Yeah, I figure the money should be spent in the same way that it came in, for no reason at all. You want to talk again? Well, go ahead. I have never met Trudeau. Every time he gets a chance to meet me, he gets sick. Yeah, it actually happens once a year at the normal parties, the annual normal convention in Washington. He sells cartoons, to raise money, and I'm this national strategist on the extremist side. I actually am on the advisory board, the National Advisory Board, which is eerie after being a criminal for 20 years to look down and see your name on the bottom of the stationery on the advisory board with all these, the ex-director of the DEA and the same people who've been trying to lock you up for the last 18 of the last 20 years. You're now on the board of directors with for a bunch of dope addicts. It's wonderful. But no, I never. Trudeau is. I'm not sure who's using who in that situation. The only thing I can, the only constant reaction I have to it is it's very strange to be a cartoon character. When you're trying to get around the world and still make a living and get by. And if you don't believe it, try it sometime, or even ask, or try to find somebody you can ask what it feels like. There ain't none around. It's a very strange thing to be. And it happens all over the world. In Perth, Australia, in Mystic, Connecticut, anywhere that goddamn comic strip constantly pops up. Waco, Texas. It robs me of a very valuable and kind of human part of my life, which is the kind of privacy you assume. Nobody, some people want to grow up and be firemen, and some want to be president. Nobody wants to grow up and be a cartoon character. So, and there's no precedent. Nobody can tell you what it's, they don't teach courses on how to handle it. I might someday. I wondered about that. It's odd just to be never mind. Fuck, let's get on to something else.
You got a question?
Sounds like a voice on the floor. Who's talking? Oh. Would I? Or will I? Or what?
Will you ever run for an office again? Say in
think,
Aspen.
Right now, I would say no unconditionally. I mean, an honest no. I got as close as I ever came to being insane, except maybe for last summer, was when I actually considered running for the Senate, from Colorado. Well, I seriously thought about it. And I feel full of shame and grief to look back on that and realize that I was serious. Well, only for a while. My friend Gary taught me out of it, we flipped a coin. Who's talking? Wait a minute. Well, the same way I always did. I haven't changed my mind about Carter. What prompts you to ask that? We could narrow it. Do you have any specific idea? No? I feel the same way I've ever since I first met the man. No, I've been on planes all day. What happened today? That was the, I got off in Chicago and I saw kind of a wet ink headline that said Carter accused the oil companies of giant being war criminals and using the word rip off. That's wonderful. Look, he's as close to being on my side as anybody of those three who were possible at the time could be. And at the time that he was a serious candidate, was perceived as one all over the country, the choice was Humphrey, Ford, or Carter. Now, if the day I have to feel guilty about choosing Carter out of those three is the day I'm going to go, I'll leave the country and go somewhere else.
Hunter?
I still like the man. I'm not sure he likes me. He's scared of me. But yeah, I'm scared of him in a way, too. It's a balance of terror. You know, how many people can actually deal with the White House on a straight-across balance of terror basis? I think it's an achievement. Do people hear that? You're not in the mic. What's my opinion of David Rockefeller and the Trilateral Commission? Well, let's see. We know first they're rich people. And second, they're powerful people because they're rich. They're not necessarily smart. And to me, not necessarily dangerous. But they're just smart enough to be embarrassed about the kind of stuff that would make them dangerous. No? You? Well, what's that mean to you? You could be right. I don't think so. Yeah, for a subject like this, you probably
Go
can't
ahead,
do it,
use the
Mike.
mic, you know.
Hunter?
It's too complicated.
People can hear in the background and
Just ease up to the mic. We can do that.
wait to see him walk out upstairs up there.
We heard that the BBC made a movie of your campaign.
Who's talking?
For sheriff.
Where
From
are you?
above.
Up
Speak
above,
up.
right?
Up above. In the middle.
It's you.
We heard
Oh,
that
right.
the BBC made a film of your campaign for sheriff. Where do we go and see that movie?
When can you see it?
Yeah.
When do you
when's
want
it
to?
coming out?
I don't carry it with me, but
I thought you
We
were
almost
agreeing.
saw that
Yeah, you got-
with,
you get a hall and whatever. We'll work out something. You can see it whenever you want. I'm not sure I'm entitled to sell it, but or rent it. You can see it free.
Getting back, the Trilateral Commission, being the commission of West
here,
Germany,
see.
Japan.
Let me just explain to everybody out here that I can't tell. All the sun comes out
Yeah,
to me in the same place. So I have to, who's talking now?
I am.
Who's I? All right.
Like with Zbigniew Brzezinski giving sort of acceptance to Rockefeller, that said, Carter's a good man. Why don't we make him president? And being the
That's what Ziggy said to Rocky.
That's what Ziggy said to David. A bit
Okay.
of time ago, I suppose around '75, when they first interviewed Carter to see if he was, an acceptable person for the Trilateral Commission. And
He was
being
acceptable before then.
for them.
He was
Right.
acceptable back in '72 or '3.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's.
Why shouldn't he be? He's
Yeah,
a
really.
businessman.
Hell. But
Farmer. An agrarian liberal. What the hell?
yeah, really.
Urban conservative. It comes out.
So
Fascist libertarian. Excuse me.
actually, he's libertarian. You say?
Hmm?
Did you say actually he's libertarian?
Well, I was just trying out phrases.
Yeah.
I don't get a chance to use the microphones that often and hear what it sounds like in a hall like this.
Booms, doesn't it?
I kind of like fascist libertarian. It's like Hamilton Jordan calling Arabs sand niggers. There's a certain ring to it. It stops you. You have to think, who said that? Oh, that's Hamilton Jordan. Yes.
Like, do you ever consider what that sort of signifies, and do you have an opinion on that?
Why Hamilton Jordan refers to Arabs as sand niggers? Which one?
No.
I have opinions on that. I think it's dumb and dangerous.
No, more in the line of the Trilateral Commission being West Germany, Japan, and America, and they're just trying to maintain capitalism.
This is like the Bilderberger Society. It's one of these boogeymen, like the communists, in a sense, say in South America, or among low-level American diplomats or soldiers, who actually attribute massive and unnatural strength to the enemy in order to justify their own existence.
Right, oh, sure.
I'm not worried about the Trilateral Commission. Those bastards can barely keep their banks afloat, much less having to...
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, you
can
really
be sure
should,
that with all the presidential candidates last time, I'm certain Carter was not the choice of the almost pure establishment kind of people who are are on and run the Trilateral
Yeah, only
Commission.
because they didn't know him.
Well, they had their, they had all their own people, including the incumbent president.
Yeah.
A dingbat Republican with no brains at
Yeah,
all.
oh,
Just
hell
a
yeah. Picked
a
by
person
Nixon.
do anything.
Picked by Nixon.
Like a fat Eisenhower. So I don't think it was in the interest of David Rockefeller and those people to risk electing Carter when they had their choice, if they
don't
were smart
have-
enough to get him
well,
elected, of almost any of their own people.
You really don't. I mean, hell, the Trilateral Commission has a commission.
Why are you scared of these people? It's
As
like
a
water
college.
rats or field rats.
Yeah, hell,
And you could be right, but I've gone through a lot of paranoia,
Yeah,
and I'm still paranoid about some things, but that's not one of them.
yeah.
The more you see those people and actually have to confront them on their own turf, I think maybe you like them more, perhaps, but you respect them less, or you worry about them less.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're less powerful.
Yeah, they're not competent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't even
Of course, they
control.
can't even direct their power. For sure.
What's
But,
that?
Okay.
You're losing control of yourself.
I have a question, speaking right here. What do you think of those new,
Right.
those new amyl substitutes like Rush?
What?
What do you think
People
of
always
those?
say, I can't hear you.
What do you think of those new amyl substitutes like Rush? Are you familiar with those?
Is that there's a, I know what you mean. It's what it is amyl nitrate cut down to like 1/100th of a point under the legal definition of whatever narcotic or dangerous drug or whatever. And it's butyl nitrate rather than amyl nitrate.
So where do we get the good stuff now?
Well, if you have any, come see me. You come up right now, in fact. You can talk.
Sewell Hall for that one.
No, it's just like drinking, watered whiskey or the kind of cocaine that's sold mainly around here right now, if any is sold. Yeah, it's sort of Fifth Avenue cocaine, that kind of thing.
Did you vote for Salamander for president?
For who?
For president.
Who the hell is talking to me? I'm getting two voices and I only see one person.
I thought you were familiar with this character in the Aspen Times.
That lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I endorsed him for mayor of Aspen, but not for president.
Right.
I didn't endorse Carter either, goddammit. That was John Winter who did that. All I said about Carter was that he was about to prove that Adlai Stevenson was right when he said that people, in a democracy, people get the kind of government they deserve. And I think the only person who really understood that and didn't like the article and didn't think it was at all funny was Carter. Yeah, and Hamilton joined. Yeah, he didn't like Hamilton. My first time I met Hamilton, I set him on fire. They had a party last night at the White House for early supporters of Carter. I wasn't invited. Yeah, Jan Winter and I spent last night deep in grief of not being invited to the early supporters of Carter party. They had about 500 people, but I'm not sure who they were. Who admits to it now?
Question over here. What do you think of Eldridge Cleaver's recent Jesus Freakdom?
After
Have you ever met
riding
the
out
man?
from Chicago with Colson, I'm a little bit rattled because I have.
Did you meet him with Carlson, or was?
No, but to me it's the same gig, I think. I mean, I have a very serious.
Have you ever met the man, and what do you think of
Prison fellow? That's Colson's trip. I believe that if I were Eldridge Cleaver, and we're looking at 7 or 8 years in Soledad, I'd damn well endorse anything rather than go, and that's your own kind of private hell that I'm sure they attach. This is Tex Colson's prison fellowship thing, and I believe he's serious. And there is a box number on it if you want to describe. It's Prison fellowships. Anyone want to write this box number down? Well, bunch of cynics. You know, a man can change. But boy, for Tex Coulson to change, and I don't know Eldridge, but I know what kind of perverse swine federal cops can be. And can you imagine having to live with somebody that says you can stay free as long as you endorse Jesus and never admit it to anybody? Not even your breath. You know, the first time you even hint that you're kidding, it's right into fucking Alabama with you. You know, zip into Folsom. That to me is as close to hell as you get on earth. That's what I'd do if I were a cop. Just to make him repent publicly, and the first time as a condition of the parole, which none of us will ever hear about, that if he ever laughs, if he ever doesn't do it with a straight face, it's right into prison. You know.
We have a question up in the balcony.
That's an ugly kind of punishment.
We have a question up in the balcony.
Yes, I was wondering if you could
The
tell us
balcony's
about...
big, man. Where the stand up or something. Wait, I can't.
Could you tell us about your latest bout with venereal disease?
No. Fortunately, you know, I can answer that with a clear and Christian heart and bright white eyes. I've not been troubled by venereal disease recently, and so I can't tell you about it. But I warn you against the filthy herpes. No, my real herpes syndrome. It gets on people. You know, it's,
My real question is, could you give me your feelings about disco?
Well, you're a smart son of a bitch.
Casey and the Sun.
I feel the same way about disco as I do about herpes. All right, what do you got next?
Over here.
No, it's your turn again. I want to see you walk on that one.
I'm up here in the balcony and I can't hear shit.
Never mind, man. Let's go down here. All right.
I have a question. You keep mentioning cocaine.
Wait, who's?
Over here.
We call it. All right, you're next. Yes.
You keep mentioning cocaine, but I read an article you had where you kind of call it a watered-down drug for the masses.
Oh, that's a treacherous and useless drug.
What did you say again? Because
I'm serious.
No, do you remember what you said? Something about going to a party and
Just because you read something in a magazine that claims I said it has no goddamn relation in the world to what I might have said.
No, you know.
You know, and
But do you remember what you said in that article? I don't even remember.
well, at first you hadn't mentioned the magazine, or when?
I can't footnote
1952 interview in Collier's.
No, well, I'll tell you.
What the hell? What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what you said.
Well,
what they said.
why don't you get your facts down? We'll talk about whatever interview you want to talk about.
Well, listen. What they said, you said was.
Right? Who is they, man? What magazine?
Never mind.
Next, please.
No, but you really must. I mean, we can't talk about an interview that I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, it's just that you had an opinion about cocaine, that you'd like to go to a party with cocaine users and give them methadone, acid, and saltpeter, I believe it was.
Well, since you don't recall where you read that,
I can't. All right.
Why shall I even? There's no point in my even thinking about whether I might have said it. Maybe I did, but it was. You know, I say a lot of things. That's one of the luxuries of living this way. You know, you can say just about whatever you feel like saying.
We have another question up here.
No, but this gentleman over here is on deck, as it were. Yeah.
Right. I just wondered something. Why is your name still on the staff of Rolling Stone magazine when I've read an interview which you...
You talk like me now. You gotta
Excuse me?
Slow down. You're talking like me.
Okay. Why is your name still on the staff of Rolling Stone magazine when I've read an interview which you just expressed displeasure with it?
I don't know. Why did I spend last night, all of last night with Jan Wenner first in the office, and then, I actually slept 2 hours this morning in Jan's apartment, and I don't understand these things. People are very strange. I got some weird friends. It's kind of fun to play around with them. I never asked that my name be taken off. I didn't see any point in that. And for some reason I never bothered to ask him about, Jan has kept it on. I'm a firm believer in making life as easy as possible. And why should I have my name taken off there? If he wants to keep it on, That's easy, you know. Just don't bother me about it.
Are you planning on writing them for them?
Hmm?
Are you planning on writing them for them again?
For some reason, I must be fucked up. I'm trying to listen to you. I'm having a hard time. Yeah, get these over.
Fixed up all right? To the back end?
I was having a hard time hearing it, but it occurred to me that maybe that's not the way to listen to you. I don't know where the sound's coming from. It's coming down on me from all around.
Are you planning on writing for them again?
Well,
Yeah,
I wasn't, but right now I am. I'm not sure how it happened or why, but yeah, I haven't slept now, and this is the fourth night. And we spent, me and Jan and David Felton spent all last night in the new offices overlooking Central Park in the Plaza Fountain. Jesus Christ. That's such a bizarre shift, you know. That was the first time. Yesterday was the first time I've been in the offices, and it actually intimidated me. It was weird, but that's not what it's done to Jan, and it's driven Felton half nuts. So we had a kind of celebration last night. I just, for the first time, Winter has finally not only had access to the best kind of sound equipment, but he understands it, somebody understands it, because his office is full of really elegant machinery. And last night we wired it all together and really cranked it on with the old Rolling Stones albums, and
Well, you know, Mr.
they're
Thompson.
completely crazy, Doctor.
Dr. Thompson. Yeah.
I have another question in the balcony.
Well, first of all, I think it's a real honor for for them to have your name on their head mask, such
Who
as
asked
it is.
you?
But and who do you want in the series?
What are you offering? I'll go either way. Last night I had the Yankees in 5 runs, which I thought, shit, nobody can beat a bet like that. And
Well, wouldn't you want the better city to be the winners in the World Series, like Los Angeles?
having a favorite in baseball team is like having a favorite oil company. There's no, or like a favorite big-time college football team. It's there's not much choice between, say, Alabama, USC, and these people don't stand for much of anything except good football. It's entertainment. What was the question? We've lost control of ourselves here.
Hey, this guy, why not?
Well, there's nothing to say. Why should I fuck with the microphone?
Yes, we have a question in the balcony again. Are the rumors really true that they have Rin Tin Tin's brain in suspended animation in Fresno, California?
You're that same freak who was talking before, aren't you? Somebody should get him away from that microphone. Maybe not, I don't care.
Is it really true that they have Rin Tin Tin's brain in suspended animation in Fresno?
I think so. Why shouldn't they? What the hell? It's like saying, is it true that they have steel-belted radials? Of course. Makes perfect sense. It's, you've been here before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Back to the well, all right.
Last time I heard you speak, you were talking very vehemently opposed to what Rolling Stone was doing now. Now you're talking about writing for him again. What changed your mind?
What makes you think there's a contradiction in that? I used to get $500 for writing something for Rolling Stone. Now I get $5,000. That tells you something, doesn't it? I don't want to write any more journalism for anybody, but how many grapes do you have to have pushed into your mouth before you finally swallow one? It makes my life easier right now to do a little bit.
According to the MK Ultra documents that are being declassified.
Speaking in English? What?
According to the MK Ultra documents that are recently being declassified.
For some reason, I can't.
Could you speak up, please? According to the MK Ultra documents that are recently being declassified by the government, they were doing a lot of experimenting with acid in the late 60s. Well, before that too. But do you know of any government connection to the acid that flooded the campuses in the late 60s or early 70s, or perhaps government connection to some of the acid that you might have done?
Well, I have some pretty good acid right now. I was given, not with me, of course, but It's a locker at the Denver bus station. I think once again, you're attributing too much, strength and mystery to the enemy. Although it is kind of intimidating to think that, for instance, it must have been 1961 when I first confronted acid. Maybe, 60, I guess, in Big Sur and Esalen, or what was later to become Esalen. At that point, that was a really rare thing to run across. And it's a little scary to realize that in 53, 7 years earlier than that, the CIA was working out on, putting it in people's drinks in St. Louis. And they were playing with Sandoz acid, too, which is not, it's not your cocaine variety acid. It's